We were taught half a dozen Shakespeare plays, we were taught Christmas Carol, we were taught Journey's End. They're great books and plays, but they're all at the very least 80 years old, each of them. So I think it was important to get like a modern text that represents the society we currently live in.
This is Turing House School in Twickenham, where we joined the last English lesson of a GCSE class studying Boys Don't Cry by Malorie Blackman.
It talks about how certain things should be able to be accepted by everyone.
It's okay to show emotion, it's okay to show love for one another, it's okay to cry.
Boys Don't Cry is one of the few texts by a writer of colour on the GCSE syllabus.
On the board is an excerpt of a review of Boys Don't Cry.
Hayley changed her class's set text this year in a conscious effort to modernise and diversify the way English literature is taught at the school.
I've been with these students since they were in Year 7, and it's really exciting to be able to teach a text that was powerful and emotional and relevant to our students.
Here's what they think of the book.
I feel like it talks about some topics that need to be talked about, like the prejudice against people, which most of the books we have studies don't talk about.
Our world now should match the authors, and the stuff that we write about should match our present world now.
Unfortunately, this class is the exception. Despite almost 35% of school-aged children in England identifying as Black, Asian or minority ethnic, less than 1% of GCSE candidates study a book by a writer of colour.
I think that it needs to change. There should be more diversity within that. People need to experience different things.
I do think that there are obviously a lot of good writers who are white and also who are black and from different backgrounds as well. And I think they all equally have their own talents.
Well, I'd just quite simply say, why not? Of course we should have more ethnicities in the boards and stuff for teaching. I think I don't know why it's not already a thing. Why not? It should definitely be a thing.
I feel very grateful with our school for letting us read books from different ethnicities.
Boys Don't Cry and things like that are really good for young people to see, because that kind of material being out there is good for young people to learn what's wrong, what's right. Black and white, they still have all shared experiences, they have different backgrounds, and they'll still get on with life together.
What other forms of prejudice do we have, Eddie?
Immediately, I thought my students are going to like this, and I thought it'd be really interesting to teach the students about the dual narrative and why Blackman chose to have that dual narrative and what the effects are. You know, we're allowed to have these conversations in a GCSE English lesson. This is great.
Students discuss what studying Malorie Blackman's book means to them.
Sexuality is a key theme due to the fact that it's still a very prominent issue in today's society, and even when the book was written in 2010.
Well, in society, it's obviously frowned upon for men to be able to show their emotions, and it's not normal for boys to cry. And then in the book, it talks about how it is okay, and that certain things should be able to be accepted by everyone.
I chose not to tell the students that Dante was black. I wanted them to have the same experience as I did reading it. And so that moment when we're reading it in class and it's a throwaway comment and some students just missed it, didn't really realise as we were reading, and I paused and just looked at the students, and seeing their reactions at that moment, I think, was a really powerful moment of teaching, not just for the appreciation of literature, but also just getting students to examine their own unconscious biases, perhaps.
When she revealed that they were black, I think what she was also trying to do is force the reader to examine their own prejudice, is look back on the text and think, before they were revealed that they were black, what did I think that these people were? Were they white? Were they black? Were they anything? And it's just examine your own prejudice and try to amend yourself in any way you need.
Thinking about the profile of some of our classes where lots of students aren't that excited, to be honest, about literature, and being able to introduce Boys Don't Cry to them, and the way that they've responded so positively goes to show that clearly they just love reading a text that feels familiar to them, feels like they can see themselves in a way in those texts, in those characters, or feels like they can relate to the issues that the characters are facing.
It helps me understand other people's views, to understand where they're coming from.
I find it easier to contribute during class as well because I find it a lot more relatable and I can give my thoughts and opinions.
What my hope for my students is they leave school having read and appreciated a variety of texts. I think every student has a right to see themselves reflected in the literature that they study.
Lit in Colour is a project from Penguin Books to support inclusive reading in schools. Get involved at penguin.co.uk/lit in colour.